Some of you may have seen this little creature around before while scrolling, most likely on Reddit. If you have not, and this is your first impression of me, hello, hi, you're probably not going to know any of what I'm talking about, but you're welcome to stay. In contrast, people who know me very well probably have heard most of this before, but once again, welcome to stay, though I'm not sure why you would. First things first, whether people are familiar with me or not, I've seen a lot of confusion as to what this design is even supposed to be, which is perfectly understandable. I may have added one too many design aspects in an attempt to make my objectsona recognizable, which I do think I succeeded in, but at the cost of making what Z is supposed to be a little unclear. So I'm gonna clear it up. At their very core, the base idea was to make them a coffee mug, but since the design is supposed to represent me in some way, I had to give them cat ears because any interpretation of me that doesn't have cat ears feels a little wrong. One of my friends flat out said I looked bald without my cat ears, but that's irrelevant. I made their handle the shape of a tail because I thought that would be a fun design choice to add, and I think that was the right call. As for why the ears and tail are a different color from the base, it was just kind of my way of adding more cyan into the design because, once again, it would have felt wrong without it. The scarf I gave them actually wasn't in their first design. Here's what the original design looked like for proof. My god, this child was ugly. Anyways, it's originally because I was worried I was gonna make their design a bit cluttered by adding the scarf, but at some point I decided, screw it, I'm adding the scarf. And then I did, and I'm glad I did because it's definitely improved their design. It's actually based on a scarf I typically wear IRL, except it doesn't have a lesbian heart on it. I added that because of my obsession with adding pride flags. As for the overflow over the top, that's meant to be like coffee foam, but it never moves. I don't have a logical explanation for it. I just thought it would look cool, but I never actually bothered to explain why it doesn't move. It's just like that. I think this little design aspect is part of what led to a strangely common misinterpretation that Z is a marshmallow, which I need to have Zem say this themselves.
I am not a marshmallow. I don't even know what kind of marshmallow would be pitch black with freckles.
Granted, I guess a coffee mug with freckles doesn't make much more sense, but it still seems more viable to me than a pitch black marshmallow with freckles and cat ears. But I think that's about enough of their design and what Z's supposed to be. I kind of want to talk about how Z even became popular because it kind of makes me laugh to think about to this day. Because I did mention Zem all the way back in a much older video of mine, but I didn't say much about Zem because Z wasn't nearly as well known as Z is today. I had like a couple drawings of them here and there at the time, but they weren't like anything remarkable. That was until I made self-ship art. You heard that correctly, folks. The main thing that jump-started my objectsona's rise to popularity was drawing them being gay as hell with taco microphone from Inanimate Insanity. And even though coffee has gained much more popularity on their own nowadays, it's never gone away as part of their reputation, part of my reputation. I choose this life. Coffee's relationship with taco microphone is actually what influenced the idea of making content of if coffee was in Inanimate Insanity. Though unfortunately writing isn't really my strong suit, so even though I have a fair amount of ideas for the concept of coffee and I don't really know what to do with said ideas. So isn't that fun? So what can really be taken away from this? I'm proud of what my Sona has become, and being gay was somehow the key to my popularity. I think that's about all I have to say for now, so this is Glitch Vaporeon, signing off.